Good morning.
Good morning.
On behalf of the NAACP, Bloomington-Normal branch, and Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, and that's the new Psi Lambda chapter, we welcome you this morning.
Great, thank you to be here.
Yes, absolutely, and I want to make sure, Mr. Geoff Tompkins, I have that you're running for County Board District 7, is that about right?
That is right, and I'm seeking re-election.
Okay, seeking re-election. So thank you for that point of clarification. We do have lots of questions that our community members have posed, so why don't we get right to it? What inspired you to run for this office?
4 years ago, nobody wanted to run. And we had some people move into the district that really weren't familiar with the district and didn't want to do it. I've been involved locally for many years and stepped forward and prevailed, and here I am. What motivated me is I served on the Liquor Commission under Steve Stockton. I was reappointed under Terry Renner. I'm a Boca's treasurer. I'm involved with candidates and issues throughout the community, and when an opening came about that had a void in it, I wanted to step in and help. And that's why I ran. I was inspired by Rich Buchanan, Terry Renner. A lot of people that came before me showed me how being engaged in the community can help at the level, county and below, where we live, where we have to pay taxes and receive the services that we pay for.
Okay. And speaking of the services that we pay for, what are the top 3 issues that our community is facing right now, maybe including services? What are your thoughts?
Affordability, especially in the area of housing and in the order of consumer goods, what we have to go to the grocery store and buy and put in our gas tank. I think prices are a huge influence on our community, and we're fortunate. We're an affluent community, relatively speaking, to those around us. But yet we all go to work, we have to make our paychecks last, and we want our garbage picked up, and we want our bulk waste picked up, and we don't want our sidewalks cracked, and that costs money. And we have to find a way to adequately allocate the resources that we have efficiently so that everyone lives well.
Okay. Now, if re-elected again, how would you measure success?
I'd measure success by opening up your property tax bill in April and not having chest pains. I think that you measure success by allocating the resources and the precious tax money that we all contribute to make sure the sheriff's spending it right, that it's not being wasted at the county level. Keeping a firm eye on expenses while providing the services that makes a community livable and fun to be in.
Okay. Well, let's talk about a subject that's maybe not so fun for some, housing affordability and addressing homelessness. How will you handle that?
Okay, I'm going to go backwards if you don't mind.
Yes.
You mentioned homelessness.
Yes.
I am proud to say that I am the only Republican member of the McLean County Board that voted for the Bridge Shelter. And the empowerment that that's given to people that didn't have any other options, safe, comfortable housing that not only provides the shelter, but the services that go along with that to reintegrate into the community, to find that job, and to maybe move those steps up to make themselves self-sufficient. And I was proud to vote for that. So yes, I support any initiative that helps those less fortunate.
Okay.
And the other question, please remind me.
That's okay.
I'm so passionate about that one.
Oh, no problem. Addressing housing affordability.
Okay.
Yes.
Housing affordability, we're just going to have to think out of the box. I grew up in a household with a father that was a city planning professor. So housing and planning was just the background of where I grew up. I'm not either of those things and don't profess to be, but I know that at one time in our country, a man was able to go to work, or a woman was able to go to work and buy a house and take care of her kids and his sons and buy them the things that they need to exist, and people can barely get by today. And when houses cost more than 20% of your income, it's just simply unaffordable. And we have to look at new materials, we have to look at new designs, we have to look at new zoning regulations, we have to look at the things that build the foundation to make housing affordable. It's one thing to have the jobs in the community, but if nobody's got a place to live, what good is it?
Yeah. Speaking of housing affordability, are you in favor of raising, lowering, or maintaining current tax rates, and why?
I am in favor of lowering, but here's the little asterisk by that. On personal residences, not on companies, not on commercial real estate, but on people's primary domicile. I think that the personal tax burden, it's heartbreaking to watch the most senior members of our community have to leave the homes that they raised their families in because they just can't afford the property taxes anymore.
Okay. And then let's talk a little bit about community approaching the policing issues, public safety issues. What do you recommend for bridging the gap between the community and public safety?
Well, ideally, there shouldn't be a gap between the community and public safety. In the Andy Griffith Show era that no longer exists, perhaps the sheriff could just walk down to the corner store and leave the town guy the keys to the jail cell to go home when he wants to. But unfortunately, crime has gotten to a point where if we don't keep crime in check, we will not have a viable community to live in. It's the foundation for everything else. You can't even have housing or families or schools or sports if you don't have a safe community. We have a good sheriff. We have a good police chief. We are blessed in our community to have trained, educated professionals. We even have a just retired U.S. Marshal. So our professionals in law enforcement in our county, I think, do a good job. I think they emphasize mental health. I think they've been putting an emphasis on de-escalation. I think community engagement. Bloomington officer has a sergeant going around in a nice truck, and I see him all over town engaging positively with young students. And I think we're doing a good job. Sure, we can do better, but that takes more money.
Okay. How will you ensure that residents in our community actually have a voice?
That is one of the other things that prompted me to run. I'll speak up. I will not sit and nod and wait and stay in my lane and wait for some help. If anyone in this county and their county board rep isn't helping them out, give me a call. I say that to everybody I talk to. I know a lot of you from around different parts of the community, and you can always call me at home. You can come by, you can knock on my door. I will be there. I'm a voice for people that may not traditionally have the time, the effort, or the desire to step forward. And I will, and I won't be quiet about it.
Tell me your thoughts about bipartisanship and building relationships and rapport with those who may be affiliated with another party.
Absolutely. As a person that has experienced both parties firsthand, when I was in college, I was president of the Young Democrats at University of Arkansas. I think we can have a lot way to go there. We need to reach across the aisle. I try to do it. You'll notice I cross lines on my personal votes all the time on the county board because you have to. I call them like I see them. And I'll get grief from both sides for that. But I try to do what is best for everybody. At the county level that I serve at, politics really doesn't have a place because we're where the rubber meets the road. My constituents in District 7 don't care who picks up the garbage or who they want for president. They want to make sure the garbage is picked up on time and our bills are paid on time. And I think we can work together and take some of the partisanship out of it, and it exists. You look at the county board, every one of you's been and watched it on TV. You got some people have to sit down at those folding card tables, and other people get to sit up on the dais. The city council in Bloomington all sits together as equals with equal voices, but sometimes that's lacking at the county, and I'd like to see that change.
Okay. Final question. I think we have about another 45 seconds left. How will you increase government transparency?
First step in transparency is visibility. If you can't get through a website and you can't find the link you're looking for, you're never going to get the information you need. We have taken great strides at the county level with our IT department to modernize and update. When I first was sworn into the county board, the screens behind me were all dark. And I went and I told the county minister, why can't we at least light that up with the county logo and on that big screen put the agenda scrolling down so the public can watch? That was basic transparency, turning on the screens and turning on the agenda. So I'm big on transparency. We've got it live streamed. I think there's some technical issues there that could make that look better and look more inclusive. Because right now when you watch the county board, you see the chairman and her two deputies, and you don't see that people's representative.
Okay. All righty. Well, once again, it has been a true pleasure on behalf of the NAACP, Bloomington-Normal Branch, and Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. We thank you for your time. That is the Nu Psi Lambda chapter. Thank you again.